Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. Oh, yeah. We got a Friday. And we got Friday drama.
Uh-oh.
Nothing like a little Friday drama. I'm not mad at a little Friday drama.
Yeah.
Can we have a little Friday drama?
I like it.
As, not sure how Carl Williams feels about this coaching staff, as we got a tweet from the Chicago Bears quarterback's dad on accountability and a real coach. We'll talk about that as we dive into that. I'm not mad at a little drama on a Friday morning. I'm here for it. I'm down for it.
Wakes me up.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what gets you up in the morning.
I'm a little excited.
Also, we got to make sure that even if this isn't a big thing, does this put pressure on this Chicago Bears coaching staff? I mean, when you get a tweet from the parents, now all of a sudden the fans shift their attention to you. And a new segment. It's 11/1/2024, 6:33 in the morning. And I get you, Carl Williams. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Big vibes. Big vibes. We ride. We ride. Hey, fire everybody. Hey, fire everybody.
Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out.
I kid. We had that conversation yesterday. We're not there yet. I am not firing everybody just yet. Oh, but don't you think I'm not close?
You know where I stand.
Yeah, we heard where you stand. We saw exactly
went nuts yesterday.
If he makes the Super Bowl, fire this man.
Get him out of here. Thanks for the trophy. Leave.
This man he can't even make the Super Bowl and stick around. He's got to go. Hey, man, appreciate y'all tuning in and showing love on a Friday morning. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Need y'all go ahead and do me a favor and just
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Push the goddamn button and she gonna blow up the spot. That's what she said. That's what
it is. What
she said. To blow everybody up.
You got two options.
Chris Tucker said, "I will blow up this 10-year-old girl if you don't give me what I want." Like, it was kind of a wild bluff. Like, what if Buddy was like, "All right, boop." No, it's a bad. Now that movie doesn't go as well. No, good thing it was a movie. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. Let's start off the conversation here because we got to speak to Carl Williams. Now, listen, I need people to calm down on this. This was the tweet from Carl Williams. This was his real account. We did verify that this was his real account, which has since, I believe, been deleted.
Yeah, it was taken down. Yeah,
and this was a Commander's tweet. They said Commander's DC Joe Witt said he didn't have much of a Hail Mary last Sunday because he was pissed. We should close the game, finish the game in those winning moments, and I blame myself. We were in a solid call, but there's a better call that I should have gotten to. And this gets retweeted by Carl Williams, Caleb Williams' father, with hashtag accountability, hashtag real coach. And look, I've gotten the opportunity to meet Carl Williams. Phenomenal dude. Clearly, Caleb Williams believes that he is an amazing father. And I have to take him at face value on that.
Yeah, of
You
course.
got your son to the NFL. You have done everything properly for your son. You have put him in amazing positions. You have taught you raised him to be a young man who could live on his own in high school. Could you imagine if your parents let you live on your own?
Bro, no, that's ridiculous. I mean, the trust and maturity you can gain from that.
Listen, my parents did I like to think my parents did a really good job with me.
I mean, he got you this far. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think they did a really good job with me.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah.
Apartment in high school. Do you know the amount? Never mind. We can't get into that.
Yeah. I lived on the south side of Chicago. That wouldn't happen. That couldn't happen. I'm good on that. I'm good on that, bro.
Hey. So Carl Williams is doing something right.
That's hilarious.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Hey,
that's an outlier. That's called an outlier.
But I say all that to say, and having an opportunity to meet him when he says things, I do believe that he's being very genuine. I do believe he's being very genuine with Chicago. And so he did clear this up. I believe he was asked by 670 to score as well. Do what did you mean by these comments? He said it was an innocent comment, had nothing to do with the Chicago Bears. It was all to do with the Washington Commanders. And listen, I don't know if people know this or not, but he lives in Washington. He's probably a Commanders fan. He's probably a Bears fan because of his son. He has been in Washington for at least Caleb's entire life. I'm not sure back past that. He probably roots for the Commanders because he's in the state. So he's probably still paying attention to what's happening with the Commanders in the state. So when he says it's an innocent comment, has nothing to do with the Bears, I do believe that. I understand why people take it the wrong way, though, and why people may believe that this coaching staff did get called out by Carl Williams. When you get the hashtag accountability, hashtag real coach, that's all we've been talking about this week. Accountability has been the only word in the city this week. Like, it's been the number one thing we've been saying every single week. It's been the number one question asked in these press conferences. It's been the number one. Yeah, I mean, so I understand how Bears fans are taking this. Now, again, like I said, I'm taking him at face value that he's telling the truth, that it has nothing to do with the Bears. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't apply to the Bears. And I think that is why so many Bears fans are up in a tizzy about this.
I'll be honest with you, Pat. Even if it has nothing to do with the Bears and you're taking it for face value, that's no fun. It's always fun to spice it up a little bit, get a little drama going. So let's just say maybe we assume he was talking about the Bears, okay? And he was comparing Joe Witt to offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. You're talking about accountability. You're talking about a real coach and how he goes about his business, saying, hey, it's on me to call a better call. I mean, you yourself know, because you asked Shane the other day the very direct question of, would you do this play over? Would you do the play over with Doug Kramer? And the guy, he quadrupled down again and said, yeah, I'm confident. We've gone over that play before. I'm confident in the play working. I would definitely do it again.
Yeah.
Put his foot in his mouth again.
That was actually Potsy, and I love the fact that listening back, Potsy gave him like 3 different ways to try and say, no, I wouldn't do this again. And he's like, I'm running it. Kramer, get back there.
Yeah, let's redo that play again. In a pivotal moment, let's redo it and give it to the old lineman. So I know, I just to cause a little drama. I mean, if again, comparably, yes, you want to hold yourself accountable for bad play calling, for things that you look back and say, you know what, I could have done that a little better. I could have put my team in a better position to win. Even though they went off of a Hail Mary, you can see he wasn't satisfied. I like that kind of coach. Go back to the drawing board. What can we do better so we don't put ourselves in a position to throw a Hail Mary? Yeah. That's what I need to Shane Waldron to learn from, taking more accountability.
Yeah, no, 100%. And listen, it's so and shout out to Tony for the super chat. He said, you all better keep that 5-5 quarterback in check on Sunday, or the Bears defense might have a long day. Yeah, no, Kyler Murray's a dog. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That was a problem.
I said last night on the show, Kyler Murray might be the second best quarterback we played. Although I'm not gonna lie to you,
I'm not gonna lie. CJ's kind of deflating.
Hey, the Texans are not a Super Bowl contender.
Second, we said that at the beginning. They looked real
I'm
good.
sitting here, I'm like, hey, this Texas team look kind of trash. Like,
Boy.
now they banged up. No,
Boy.
no, Stephon Diggs going to rest of the year. It's going to make a difference. But
Sure.
I watched this team with Tank Dell last year, and they were better. I love Nova. CJC here wants the drama.
Oh, boy.
I think here's my thing, right? And I like how you said that, right? Whether he's calling out this coaching staff or not, it is something when you hear the accountability on the other side, and then you see kind of where we've been. And I think more from Matt Eberflus than from Shane Waldron. Because here's the thing: while we dislike Shane Waldron, or I shouldn't say that, while we dislike Shane Waldron's answer of I would run it with Doug Kramer again.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's not taking accountability. I just think he's like, I'm gonna run that play. Like, y'all think I won't run that play? Double down this week versus the Cardinals. Doug Kramer, end zone, book it. Sunday, 3:05. Wow. Like, I think he's just down for the play. Like, I don't know if that's a lack of accountability, because honestly, when I brought up the specialty plays that Shane Waldron runs on the goal line, he immediately went back to the Colts game where he runs speed option at the 1 and said, that's a bad call. Like, that's on me. That's a bad call. I got to make a better call there. I think it's concerning that Shane thinks that it's a good call to run Doug Kramer on the 1 yard line, but I don't know if that's a lack of accountability. I think he's just saying, no, that play works. Let's do it.
I think it's a lack of accountability. In my opinion, I think it's a lack of accountability and awareness. Yeah, well, that too, Steve-O. We said we wouldn't say keep it simple, stupid, and the last one wouldn't be for him. But man, I here's my thing. When you're asked, did you want to run that play again? Would you run that play again? You say yes, and it failed.
Yeah.
In that moment, you're using a play that's situational to get you in front of your opponent. That's not smart. You should own up to that. Just like when you said, "Oh, I know you're referring back to the time when I did the speed option, at the line, and yeah, I'll own up to that. I have no problem, saying I own up to that. Well, why is it that you're not owning up to this failure? You're saying you're going to do it again. Not once did you say, you know what? Yeah, it was a bad play call. So that's where I'm saying he's not taking accountability, because not once has he said, that was a bad play call in that moment.
But you got to believe that, JC. For me to take accountability,
so you're saying he's seen
I have to believe.
He's not aware.
I mean, listen, it's about belief. Now, because here's the thing: every play call that doesn't work in Bears fans' minds is a bad play call. Why didn't you do that? The screen pass to DJ Moore is a bad play call. When realistically, if Caleb just turns around and hands that football off, it's not a bad play call. It's an RPO. The pass on first down where Caleb is floating the football up there to DJ Moore, which is another play I asked about. I said, don't you want to take it out of his hands in those moments? They said, we got trust in Caleb there. That's a bad play, or in my mind, that's a bad play call. In their mind, they trust their quarterback, put it up there. Now, do I believe it's a bad play call? Yes. And so I can take accountability and look at that and go, don't do that no more. I don't think Shane Waldron think that's a bad play call, bro. So there's no accountability to take. I think he's literally going, it's not a bad play call. It just didn't work.
Here's where I'm doubling down on this, because you're saying
bastard used in a long time.
Man, yeah, my goodness gracious. DJR 476. Was he a Star Wars fan? What is that? DJR 4. Okay, anyway, it says it's not necessarily a bad call. It was just the wrong time to run situationally, given the moment. If you can't admit that, yes, situationally, I shouldn't have run that at that time. Yeah. Versus when we went back and people were using the excuse that, they did the same thing with Chase Daniel and Akeem Hicks in the second quarter going into the half when the game was tied, and you're not chancing, losing the game at the last second in the fourth. That has the two different situations. So if I can, as a coach, get up there and say, you know what, I was wrong for running that at that time. To me, that still says you're not holding yourself accountable for that moment. If you're saying it's a bad play call, okay, fine. Okay, we can chalk it up to saying that too. But I think in the moment, he still should say, you know what, I shouldn't run that. Even if I have full confidence that it'll work, we should probably call that play, when we're ahead, or we should probably call that play when we're not in the fourth quarter and we're ahead of our opponent. I don't want to call that play when we're behind and we're struggling on offense all game. So I'm gonna give it to a guy who's not usually on our offense. So that to me, that's like not seeing awareness. That's not awareness. That's not accountable. And hey, just like Carl said, you're not a real coach.
I don't know if I'll go that far. I think
I'm joking on that.
We're living in the moment of like they have completely pissed us off, and so I think we have to take some of that into account. And listen, I don't like the play call. I'm not a fan of the play call. I think it's a bad play call. It's a worse play call in my mind. And the reason that you can't go back to it, by the way, over 100 and a over 200 and a There we go.
You caught me off guard with that one. All right.
Double I.
Caught me off guard.
The one thing that I'll say is this about kind of where I am with the accountability, with where the coaching staff is, with kind of how they move forward. And it goes back to the conversation we had yesterday. Listen, you're in a position where you've kind of used up all of your get out of jail free cards. You've used up all of your, we got this. We're going to get better day by day, right? That compilation. We're going to learn from it and move forward. Yeah. And then it's just another play. You've used all of that goodwill up. And so now, to me, where I'm at with Shane Waldron, where I'm at with Matt Eberflus and different things like that is now it's just about show me. Yeah. When we're talking about accountability, you know how I know you're accountable? If Tyreek Stevenson goes out there and balls out.
Yeah.
That's how I know you're being accountable. That's how I know at a minimum the players are holding you accountable in the building, which is a good culture to have. And I don't know why, like when I talk with J-Mac every week, we always talk about culture. We always talk about, kind of how that 06 team was. Lovey didn't have to do nothing. Lovey didn't have to bench guys. Lovey didn't. Now, I shouldn't say that. Lovey did have to bench guys, but Lovey didn't have to be the voice of reason in that room. I like where the locker room's culture is at. I like the fact that I am almost 100% certain Jalen Johnson and Caleb Williams and all those guys are holding their team accountable. That's what you want. You want a coach that is setting that culture. Again, I'm not defending Flus. I'm not saying that. I'm not defending Waldron. I'm not saying what I think they did was right in the situations that they've done them in coming out of that game. And I think that they've kind of tried to double down on that. But we've seen coaches do that before. We've seen coaches make dumb decisions that they're like, that's my decision. I'm rolling with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, though, you've made so many of them, you out of goodwill. You're one loss away from being out of goodwill. You want to build some of that goodwill back? Win. And that's what it comes down to me. I mean, listen, even if Carl Williams was calling out this coaching staff, even if he was saying, that this coaching staff lacks accountability, that somebody's not a real coach, which I don't believe that's what he's doing at all. I do think he probably was just speaking from a commander's standpoint here. But even if that is what, he was saying, he's in a position to say it because we've talked about over 3 years now a lack of accountability and a question mark on how good of a head coach he is.
Here's the last thing I'll say on this, because I wholeheartedly agree with you. Do not allow your personal arrogance to get in the way of keeping it simple. Yeah. Don't allow your arrogance to essentially get you fired.
Yeah.
If you want to double down and triple down on you thinking that your play calling is just going to be immaculate and you want to go back to the drawing board and say, you know what? No, I didn't do anything wrong. We just didn't execute it right. So let's do it better next time. Okay. But if it doesn't work again and again, when you could have gone to a play that actually worked, when you had Doug Kramer blocking for Roschon Johnson a few times now throughout the season at the goal line, and he went in and he got in easily. Now we start to question your competence. Now we start to question whether or not you should stay here. Now we say, well, now he's on the hot seat. So again, by extension, Matt Eberflus as well, do not allow your arrogance to get in the way of you losing your job. go back to keeping it simple and winning the game.
Yeah. And I hope that they do that this week. I think, especially with the injury concerns that the Bears have, we talked about the injury report yesterday as well, especially with all of those injury concerns, especially kind of with, where this team is at as far as defensive starters on that DB unit that are going to be ready. Offensive linemen that are going to be ready. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You don't have a choice but to keep it simple. If you don't, you're going to be in a bad spot versus this team. This is not a Cardinals team that is terrible.
Yeah.
This is not a Cardinals team that, now, I think there's a Cardinals defense that is terrible, but clearly their offense has kept them in plenty of games.
Yes, they have.
And if this offense gets itself going, if, like somebody said, you can't keep, who was that, Tony with the super chat? If you can't keep the 5'5" quarterback in check, it's a little taller than that, but not by much, you're going to be in a tough situation.
Yeah, you can move that ball.
And so it is, the leash is just shorter and shorter, and I think that offensively and defensively, you have to come so prepared over the next 3 games that even in this Packers game, the only way you get some good grace is if it comes down to a Packers field goal kick and they find a way to win. And even then, if you lose that game, you still might be out of here because you don't have the goodwill built up anymore. 5 games now that we can clearly see have been lost by coaching staff, by this coaching staff.
Yeah, that's not a
5
good track
games.
record.
That's insane. I can't give you 5 games. You can always give, right, like certain games where you say, oh, the coach should have made this call. He lost that game. They lost that game. But it's always like, no, like this dude lost that. This dude didn't do this. This dude. 5 games, bro. 2 of those games, Justin Fields had you up double digits heading into the final minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
One of those games, just bad play calling overall. You got Justin Jones dropping back in coverage. 2 games this season, we run a speed option at the goal line and handing it off to the Duggernaut. Like, I've never seen such a clear, like, no, they effed up in my life. Like, everybody's just like, no, this is bad coaching.
Yeah.
So we'll see what ends up happening. I think here's the question though from this fallout, and this is what I want to talk about on the other side of this. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're gonna take a quick break and listen to a word from our sponsor. But on the other side of this, the question that I do have for you is, and I've said I don't believe that Carl Williams is tweeting about this coaching staff, but even if he's not, does this put more pressure on the coaching staff from the fans' perspectives? Because fans are on the precipice. If you haven't jumped off, you're where I'm at, where you're looking over the edge like, man, it's a long way down. Here we go. We might be making a move here. Has that pressure increased on this coaching staff tenfold, even more so? We'll talk about that on the other side right after this. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have 1 or 2 of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. How's your back door?
It's not wide open.
Hey, you never know. Hey, whatever you're into, you know what I'm saying? I'm not judging.
Oh my God.
But if you got Aura,
every time,
it could be closed.
Every time
That's all I'm saying. If you go out and you get Aura, it's closed. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We're just talking about the tweet by Caleb Williams' dad, Carl Williams, and how, I don't believe that he was calling out this Bears coaching staff. I've met Carl Williams. I don't think that he is the kind of guy to go to Twitter to call out the Chicago Bears coaching staff. I think that if he wanted to call them out, he would just call them out. What's funny about it is, we've seen this with athlete dads before. We saw this with Roma Dunze's dad early in the season, right? Where they were like, your son's creating no separation. And he's literally just going at fans on Twitter like, separation. Just showing different plays of all the times his son's creating separation. We saw this with what was old boy play third base for y'all?
Are you talking about Chris Bryant?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of his dad, Mike Bryant. We saw this with Mike Bryant's dad, or with Chris Bryant's dad, Mike Bryant. We've seen this with, name the athlete. Heck, Jaden Daniels' mom was getting that mug. You know what I mean? Like, get at me. But hey now. This is what sports parents do.
Yeah, absolutely. They go to bat.
Like, I don't have a major problem with it. But here's my question, JC. Even if he's not calling out the coaching staff, even if he's not saying, "Hey, I hate you guys suck. Let's move on from you guys so that my son can stop dying." Does this put even more pressure on this coaching staff to succeed right away?
Absolutely.
Does this put even more pressure on this coaching staff? Because now, whether it's about them or not, the fire's lit.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like even if Carl didn't necessarily call out the coaching staff directly, I feel like his comments are an extension of how the fans feel, of how, media feels, Chicago as a fan base feels about this coaching staff. We have been craving a steady, competent set of men to try and lead this team for a very, very long time. And for one reason or another, it's just never been right. We have never gotten right. So this form or version of this regime, we're hoping can get right. We retained Matt Eberflus. Ryan Poles gave him another chance. We need to see him continue to evolve into a complete, full, well-rounded head coach. We know what you can do on defense, but we need you to be a little bit more competent when it comes to, when an offensive call is coming in and it doesn't look good. You have the goals, you have the confidence to say that the wherewithal, the fortitude,
the testicular
fortitude to say, you know what? No, we're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna run with our running back. That's who you run the ball with, and so that's what I need to see. That's why we put a lens on these guys from week to week, because again, as we mentioned I mentioned in the Daily Show the other day, because of the division we're in, we're under more of a less of a margin of error, I should say.
Yeah.
Probably we would be a little bit less judgmental if 4-3, we're in a division where, we're in the Cardinals division where they're leading their division at 4-4. But we're in a division where every single game matters. And honestly, I like that. I like the fact that we're in the most competitive division. So now the standard has to be heightened. We can't just sit on our feet and say, oh, yeah, we're okay with being 4-3. Oh, yeah, we're okay with being over 500 because back then we didn't start off this well. No, We need to expect more. We need to expect, I wouldn't say greatness yet, but we need to expect good. And right now, good is on this team is not good enough.
Yeah.
The coaching staff has to improve. They have to get better, and they have to get better now.
See, I think what's funny is, like, I don't look at it as you have to expect greatness. What I look at it as is you can't lose the game.
Yeah.
That's my problem. That's my only problem with this coaching staff, because I do think, listen, there's a lot of factors working against you. There is new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, entirely new players brought in. There is, there's all of these things that you look at. New quarterback, new wide receivers, no offensive linemen. That's my biggest gripe with Ryan Poles right now. I see all these things that I could be in favor and say, this ain't a coaching staff issue. This is a people above the coaching staff issue. How many times have I talked about, this season falls at the feet of Ryan Poles on, what he's able to get done. Mm-hmm. But when I see 2 games you should have won and that you legitimately didn't win because of your coaching staff, that's what makes it tougher. That's why I can't do you could have been 4-3. Well, if you were 4-3 in a different division, I could have that conversation if it legitimately was, the offensive line's not good enough. Caleb Williams is running for his life. That's a Ryan Poles issue. That's not a Matt Eberflus issue. I think he's calling a heck of a defense. I think that, to be honest with you, I still believe Shane Waldron called some solid plays in the first 3 quarters of that game that just didn't work because you had a quarterback who was all over the place.
Yeah.
But it mattered. When I needed my coaching staff to matter most, you failed. You failed the quarterback. You failed the team. You caused a loss. Because no matter how that game went, when it got to crunch time, you were winning. You were walking away with a W.
Yeah.
And that, for me, is tough, especially when the person who's leading that coaching staff has done this 5 times, 4 of those times with a 90+% time to win the game.
That's still insane to me.
It's an insane stat. And you think Kevin Warren's been here for every one of those.
Yep. And
you think Kevin Warren's just going to be like, 90+%. I mean, what a way to lose. Tough times.
I ain't come here. I ain't come for this mess. I want to win. I'm trying to make a new stadium. I need a good team to go into that stadium now. I ain't got time for this mess. But no, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. And another reason why, again, you pinpoint this coaching staff again is because you're starting to see certain other things watered down and be impacted by what's being done on the field. Off the field, there's starting to be a little, like I said before, chinks in your armor, because now you got players coming out. You got a tight end that said, well, sometimes the practices aren't always the best. You got people kind of being lazy in practices. You got a quarterback that's trying to keep you off the field so you don't get a dumb penalty. You got a veteran safety that's saying, you should have played a different defense and is breaking down perfectly what you could have done to stop the Commanders from winning the play before. Yeah. You got a wide receiver that's trying to, grit his teeth because apparently when he was being truthful, he should have kept it in-house. Like you got all of these players now that are just constantly trying to, be nice and play good, play nice, but now it's starting to come out that, hey, the players maybe need to run the team. As Caleb said, hey, great teams are led by their players. Good
they are.
The coaches are leading the charge. So maybe we need a new what do we have, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen last time. Now we need a league of players, coaches on this team now that can just probably
I think
overdo.
that's not a wild statement, right? That's not a. And I don't know if the players aren't taking a lead on this team. I don't know if there is a limit to what the players want to do, because saying we want to keep it in-house is not bad. That's what every coach wants. Nobody wants their players running to the media and going, hey, you know what's wrong with this team? The bald guy. Like, nobody wants that. But we see
it. We have eyes on the field. We see it already.
It's still
we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's still about keeping it. Like I'm not mad at. I want to keep it in house. I'm not like. That's just, hey, don't give them more ammunition to use against us.
Well, you don't
like
do
I'm
that
not like
either.
as somebody in the media. Yeah, we want as much information as we can get so that we can go out there and be like, oh, look at this guy. This is what was said here, and these guys suck. But all week, these guys went out and they talked, and guess what? All we said was, wow, I don't know if they like their coach.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So I understand why Flus is saying, hey, let's keep this in-house. You know, you try and give it. And DJ's just honest. DJ's an honest dude, bro. Like, when I tell y'all, I know people are like, you know, they want to read into his body language. They wanted to do all this stuff with him. And the second that we started scoring touchdowns and winning, all of a sudden the body language stuff was gone. He was doing the same stuff. He is who he is. He's probably one of the most honest athletes I've ever met in my life. If he don't like you, he will legitimately just be like, go over there. Like he is who he is. And so when he's gritting his teeth and he's like, all right, let me find a way to say this. It's because you made his press conference harder.
Mm.
He want to just come out and be like, I don't know. Like, I got this going on.
Yeah.
Like that. So I'm not worried about the conversation on keeping things in-house. I think that this is trending towards a locker room that is player-led. What I will say is this, though, and what may be a concern, is there a limit to where the players can lead? Is there a limit to, okay, we're player-led, we're player-led, we're player-led. Oh, all right, hold on now. That's this. Now it's time for me to step in and say something.
Well, my thing is, what do you believe? Because when Caleb said that, yeah, when we have these meetings, you know, there's no yelling. You know, everybody respectfully states their point, and I think he said what you know sticks at that time sticks, and then what's left for later we'll address later. You know, but when it becomes to the meeting of the minds, you know, everybody is trying to get on the same page. If that is true, which we don't have any proof of, but we have to go by their word and what they're saying, right? Then okay. That's fine. But here's the reason why I say I have a problem with sometimes keeping it in. If you want to keep it in-house. If you wanted to keep it in-house, coach, then what I need you to do is when you get in front of the media, you need to take more ownership of the mistakes that are made on the field. You can't just sit there and say, well, I want to keep it in-house, but at the same time, my players are not executing. No, I'm not doing a good job as a head coach of getting my players ready, prepared.
Yeah.
That was the one word, remember in Hard Knocks when he was talking about preparation. Preparation leads to wins each week. Preparation gets you to the Super Bowl, right? That's what every team needs to do. That's what separates everybody, apparently, when he had that rah-rah speech in the beginning of the training camp. Preparation. Yeah. You're not getting your team prepared. In a bye week, off the bye week, you looked worse than your week one. You don't have your team prepared. So you need to own that. Don't put that on the players. Put that on you as a coach. Then I have no problem with the players keeping it hush-hush and saying, you know what, let's respect our coach more. Because you have to face the noise. It's always good when you get the credit for when the team is doing good, but you also have to take the fall when the team is not doing good. Same thing that Caleb does every single week, right? We see him always say, you know, it's on me to do better. It's on me to take care of the ball. It's on me to be a better passer. It's on me to get this offense started. You know, it starts with me. He's constantly doing that. I need to see the coach do that.
Yeah. No, I will say this, and I think that to me is a different conversation. I think the keeping thing in-house, that's a normal coach. I think the keeping things, you know, hush-hush, that's a normal coach. We don't want the media getting wind of everything that's going on here. That's a normal coach. That's a coach's culture that I'm fine dealing with. The accountability thing is a whole different issue. That to me is even if it's not accountability, take a bullet for your quarterback. Mm-hmm. Take a bullet for your team. That's more my thing, right? Like to me, it's not an accountability issue. I shouldn't say it's not an accountability issue, but the issue that I have is when asked about, hey, why are we throwing it on 4th and 1 on the goal, or 4th and 1? Why are we throwing it on first down on the goal line, 1-on-1 situation? Mm-hmm. What's going on there? Caleb had the option. He saw something he liked. He threw the football. Didn't work out. We go back to it. Now we're sitting here going, well, why did Caleb have the option? Why are we giving Caleb the option? And like Caleb made the wrong decision in that moment. Now people are questioning Caleb Williams. Just go, hey, we like the call there. What you said about the Duggernaut play. We like the call there. We made that. It didn't work out. We still had the opportunity to run it. That's on us as a coaching staff. We need to make a better call there. Boom. You jump in front of your quarterback.
There you go.
You're wearing the bulletproof vest. You take the shot for him, and you're good.
Yep. All you had to do.
I think there are moments where you have to do that, especially with a young quarterback, because he's going to make decisions. Here's what people aren't understanding. And this is kind of the conversation I was trying to have with Joe yesterday about, it took 3 bad quarters of football, like that's never going to happen in the NFL, to shake your faith in what you saw from the offense. An offense that has been cooking over the last 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It took 3 bad quarters of football, and the final quarter was a good quarter of football outside of the Hail Mary pass. It took 3 bad quarters of offensive football for you to go, this offense sucks. And I just, listen, if they come out the same way in this game, maybe so. But I can look at the game and go, your young quarterback played poorly.
Yeah.
You need to defend your young quarterback in this moment. Your young quarterback struggled. Your rookie quarterback struggled. Hear me. Your rookie quarterback struggled with an NFL game.
That's going to happen.
That's called football.
Exactly.
He's played well over the last 4 weeks. He went back home. A lot of pressure. I know he says I don't feel pressure. Yeah, all right. I mean, I've seen some moments of pressure that it seems like you felt it a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
Was that wild? Was that crazy?
Yeah.
But your rookie quarterback had a couple of bad quarters. Finished off the game with two game-winning drives. You screwed one of them up. He scored on the second one, and you lose the game on a Hail Mary. That, to me, isn't this offense is in disarray and the world is ending. It's just you had a horrible moment, and you need to lay on the grenade for your guy.
Agreed.
And I don't think your head coach did that this week. I think your head coach went out there and was like, sometimes this guy, he makes decisions. That's on him. No, sir, that's on you. And so I think it is 2 separate things, like the keeping things in-house and the accountability. I think those are 2 separate things for me, because I see a bunch of coaches do that. But what I see Mike Tomlin, what I've seen Bill Belichick, what I've seen whoever it is, name the top coaches in the game, Kyle Shanahan. We see Dan Campbell do it every other week.
Yeah.
Like they lay on the grenade for their quarterback or whoever the player is on their team and say, you know what, that's on me to make a better call there, blah, blah, blah. Now, we know there are moments where the players have to execute better.
Yeah.
We know that there are moments where the players have to do more. I look at this whole game and I say Caleb Williams did not play well. It is impossible to call an offense for Shane Waldron if your quarterback is playing like that. The only way for you to call an offense is to say he's not a part of the game plan today. We're going to turn around and we're going to hand this football off.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So I can see it in a different light. Now, if you lose this week, if you go out there this week and you look unprepared,
that seat getting hot.
Different. That's different. You know what I mean? That to me is, not only did you get punched in the mouth coming off of the bye, but you didn't even fight back the next week.
Fight back.
That's a different conversation in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. That seat's getting hot if things don't go the way we would hope.
Yeah, I'm told you.
So your thing is you see you're nice because you don't even have the fire on. I got that. I told you before, I got the oil in the pan already.
See, I don't have the fire on right because I have seen Matt Eberflus over the last 2 years actually get better. I'm willing to deal with a step backwards if you get better.
But is it because of him or is it in spite of him? That's always been my question, because right now I don't have that answer. I feel like I don't have that answer. If we're sitting here saying he has had some historic losses and you're still seeing blunders where and I even mentioned this player, Jalen Johnson, is saying, hey, maybe he calls a timeout just so everybody can be on the same page before that Hail Mary, where we absolutely know our role and how to execute that play, get everybody calmed down, just kind of quiet the crowd. The energy level is good. Like, when your players are telling you that, and you have 3 of those things, use one of them just to use it.
Hey, I don't disagree with you, JC. How many Hail Mary situations he been in?
Not too many.
That
might have been the first one.
This is the first one.
The first one.
So, like, now, is that an excuse? No. You should know what you're doing. You're 3 years in. You should know how to be a head coach. There's still things he's figuring out. And for me, I'm willing to give you more grace. Now, you're running out of grace quickly, but I'm willing to give you more grace when I've seen you improve.
Yeah.
When you take a step back here and there. Now, you lost a lot of grace. He had built up a lot of grace for me. I'm like, oh, he's coaching. Like, I was excited about Flus last week.
Yeah.
I was literally like, I think this dude is one of the best. I still do. I think he's one of the best defensive minds in football. I think that,
no question.
As a head coach, he's figured some things out. He's learned from a lot of the mistakes he made last season. Up to that point, I was like, he learned not to be involved in some of the offensive play calling. I think he needs to learn kind of whenever he hears something stupid from Shane Waldron to tick over to that you dig and be like, hey, shut up. We gonna just run this football in and keep it simple. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, and I love it because, like, all of a sudden, all I think about is all the mic'd up moments of coaches where it's like, hey, let's keep it simple here. Let's get in. Let's keep it simple here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I do think that I have seen the improvement from Flus. Did he step backwards on Sunday? Yeah. In a big way. But I can also see a coach who has taken steps in the right direction this year to the point where we were 4-2. We had an opportunity to be 5-2. We were a Hail Mary away from being 5-2. And maybe you need to call a timeout there. Maybe you need to not give up the 15 yards on that play. Maybe those are the philosophies you need to go with. How often has Flus been in that situation as a head coach?
That's true. I give it a little grace.
The flip side, I can argue both sides of it. You've been in that situation as a DC.
So you've seen it. At least you've seen it.
It's not your first Hail Mary ever.
And my thing is, you've seen it, period, in the NFL. It's not like you need to see it personally to know, oh, this is how we should probably attack this. Like, there's been Hail Marys throughout the entire career of the NFL. Like, Grace is running out. So, you better get on a winning streak this week.
Yeah, definitely needs to get on a winning streak this week at a minimum. At least start it off with this Cardinals game. Cardinals game is going to be very, very tough. But, hey, let's talk about this Cardinals game a little bit. I want to play the high-low game. How about we get a little music going for the high-low game? This used to be my Bulls victory music.
Hey,
all right. Hey. Let's finish it off with this. I want to play the high-low game. We got projections on where this Bears team could end up offensively and defensively, honestly. Different projections on different calls, different things like that. Receptions for DJ Moore. Right now, he is projected to have 5.4 receptions. I don't know how you get a 0.4 of a reception for a game. Is that too high or too low for DJ Moore with what we've seen this season? Bears have struggled to get him involved.
With what we've seen this season, he only has 33 receptions on the year. So I'm going to go, Pat, that's too high. Wide receiver 1. Hey, not throwing him the ball enough.
That's tough because I do agree with you as well. I think that's a tough situation to be in. They have struggled to get him involved. I don't think that changes this week. 3.5 receptions for Cole Kmet.
Oh, well, 3.5 receptions, Pat? That's too high. You know why? Because I think they're going to use him in blocking schemes a lot this week. Yeah.
Dang it.
All right. Yeah.
The music makes this so much better. Marvin Harrison Jr. right now is projected at 4.6 receptions in this game. Too high, too low?
Well, Pat, that's too low because Kyler Murray knows how to throw the ball to his first option. He knows how to force feed receivers, unlike this team. Hey!
Oh, Trey McBride right now set at 6.1 receptions per game. Is that too high or too low?
Well, that might be a little too high. I do believe maybe Trey McBride gets less than 6 because Marvin Harrison is going to get more than 5.
Sitting right now, the Chicago Bears quarterback Caleb Williams is projected to have 1.5 passing touchdowns in this game. Is that too high or too low?
Well, Pat, based off of this scheme they play, I'm going to go too high.
He's not going to throw more than one touchdown?
He might throw a touchdown, but they might call a play for the offensive lineman instead. So
JC is in shambles, ladies and gentlemen. Kyler Murray projected at 1.5 passing touchdowns as well. Too high, too low?
Well, Pat, I think that he's going to be too low because Kyler Murray definitely knows how to pass that rock. When he's on a heater, he knows how to score the touchdown, and he has a weapon in his arsenal to do so. So, too low.
Well, Pat kills me every time. Right now, both quarterbacks are projected at 20 passing completions in this game. Bears quarterback Caleb Williams at 20.5. Too high, too low?
So, Pat, based off of the previous week, he was 10 for 24. I'm going to go too high for Caleb and probably too low for Kyler.
So you got us getting torched this week.
I don't know, but it's not looking good.
Passing yards for Caleb Williams, 221 passing yards, 215 for Kyler Murray. Too high, too low, JC?
Well, Pat, I think that Caleb is not going to hit over 200 yards because they'll probably lean on the run game to win the game, hopefully. But Kyler Murray will definitely pass for over 250 yards, so that's too low for him, Pat. Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Too High, Too Low, brought to you by JC Dancing.
All right. I'm trying to dance the pain away. I have no confidence. These glasses are on just because I'm tired. They're not victory glasses today.
Oh, God, that was great. That was hilarious, dog.
Oh, boy.
We will bring that back.
Well, Pat.
The Pat took me out every time. I'm not going to lie.
Jesus.
Oh,
that was
God.
fun. That was fun.
That was phenomenal.
That
That worked out so much better than I thought.
Hopefully, I'm not right about any of those predictions.
Yeah, I was like, didn't you predict us to win this game yesterday?
I did. That's what did I say? 24-17.
We're going to win this game by literally
27-14?
just falling into the end zone. Just bumbling, stumbling, and rumbling.
God.
Oh, God. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love as always, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. We'll be back today. I'll be back today at about 4 o'clock to go live for the daily show. Stay tapped in with us as well. Also, Bulls live call tonight. If you have not done so, go follow Pat the Designer page. We've been doing, I shouldn't say live call, Bulls watch party. We've been doing watch parties over on the Pat the Designer page. We're also doing them over on playback. If you're on playback, you can watch the game with us by logging into your league pass, or if you're one of the few lucky ones, you can get an opportunity to get a VIP pass that allows you to actually watch the Bulls game. So tap in with us on that as well. Hey, man, for Jordan JC, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there in Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.
All right.
Oh, well, Pat.
The best show for Chicago sports.
I have no confidence at all.
Well, Pat, these guys suck.
Shit, where's Don Quixote at? I saw his fantasy football comment earlier. Hey, I'm still coming for you. The week's not over, Don Quixote, okay? You watch yourself.